Alright, so we've got a bit of video footage here. This is out of IAM back in the day. Do it another time. If you find these videos helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Let's talk about the truth about disc brakes. Some of you asked me to do a video about disc brakes, what my opinions are about disc brakes. So let's do a video talking about that. Basically, there's a big misconception out there that they think the everyday road rider thinks they need disc brakes. Now, disc brakes are fantastic in some applications. I have been using them for about 15 years now, hydro disc in the mountain bike. I do rate it for the mountain bike. For the road, however, I'm not a fan. Having owned the disc brakes, I do find the SRAM ones work a bit better in terms of less maintenance, but I do find the rotors always rub at some point, especially on a long downhill or a long climb or out the saddle in hot weather. You have expansion in the master cylinder, you have issues with the H seal, and it just causes that rubbing. And that's why Tour de France racers like Egan Bernal, Chris Froome, the Team Sky crew, Geraint Thomas, etc. refuse to race with disc brakes because they want every single second, they want every single marginal gain. Now, some people might quote the Quick Step teams and they're winning races, they want disc brakes. They always win. Doesn't matter what bike they were riding, they're always winning. But if it came to the Tour de France, we see that they lost the Tour de France because Alaphilippe was just on an inferior bike on the climbs and he struggled and he couldn't make up time on the downhills. So that's just the deal there, that Quick Step's one of the successful teams out there for various reasons, but it's not because of disc brakes. I mean, Peter Sagan has won Paris-Roubaix before. Gilbert has won so many classics. Like these are just guys who win. They're not winning because of disc brakes. If anything, they could lose because of disc brakes. They get a slow wheel change. They have a rubbing caliper, takes watts off in the sprint, things like that. Misconception is that if you have hydro disc brakes, that you'll have less maintenance. I would say the reason I've stopped using hydro disc brakes on the road is because of the increased maintenance. They're just so temperamental, and I hate flaky products. Like, I hate flaky people. Like, I hate being flaky myself. I really dislike that. So for me, Shimano Hydro Road is just so flaky. The mountain bike brakes, yeah, definitely. I've had great success with the XT and XTR, fantastic. But in terms of, like even on my S-Works Epic, the SRAM level brake, it gets hot, it just starts locking up. Not locking up, dragging up. Dragging. You hear the ping, 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 ping. You go to spin the wheel and the wheel sort of slows up real quick. So the SRAM road hydro levers have been alright, but again, I'm selling them because I don't need discs for road. If you need discs, then you go get them, but don't think that it's less maintenance, because in my experience, it's way more maintenance, and you go generally have to hire a bike shop to do it. And even then, a lot of bike shops don't even know what they're doing, or the guy who does know what he's doing isn't working that day, or he's rushed that day, or he had an argument with his girlfriend that day and he's not in the mood for it that day. So by learning to do things yourself, it's a lot better. But hydro disc, man, it's so much faffing around. Even Shimano admit that their road discs aren't that good. So the next Dura-Ace, which is coming out soon, is going to be a better. They're going to try and iron out the current issues of the Dura-Ace hydro disc. So all you have to do is just talk to someone who's an experienced rider, experienced racer. Talk to any World Tour rider off record, maybe at a pub, at a party, and they will tell you, mate, disc brakes for racing ain't worth the extra hassle. It is extra hassle, right? So just let you know. Where I like disc brakes is on my e-bike. 200mm rotors, extra stopping power. You've got an e-bike, and you on and off the gas on that, so that's definitely good. But in the road racing situation, you're hardly even using your brakes. That's what makes the difference. Like these pro riders I'm riding with here in this video, what makes them faster down the hill than me is they don't use the brakes, or they use them very, very sparingly. Like that's Heinrich Hausler in the white jersey there, in the national jersey, and he uses his brakes less than anyone in this bunch. He's just got the best skill. So if you need strong brakes on a road bike, it means your skill isn't really up there, And there's no pro rider out there who goes, yeah, please, can I have disc brakes? You saw that in the World Championships last year when the riders had the choice to run rim or disc. A lot of guys just grabbed someone else's bike, one of their old team bikes, and rode that. So that's the option there. So just giving you the heads up, all right? Don't be thinking that it's an upgrade. It, in some situations, is better braking for e-bikes. Got it. If you're an obese rider, if you're an obese rider and you're coming hurling down the hill, then disc brakes with 200mm rotors are going to give you more power. But then again, you put a 200mm rotor on a little lightweight carbon fork, I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that. Most of the rotors they're using on road bikes are 140mm. And a 140mm rotor, that generates a lot of heat. Hence why Shimano does the ice tech and stuff. So some of those rotors get really hot, and they can be really dangerous in a crash. They can be like little spinning blade cutters, as we've seen. So I think that we need to improve a lot on the road disc scene if people want to do it. But I'd recommend, if you need 200mm rotors on your bike, ride a mountain bike. Things like that. That's just my comments and criticisms based on personal experience. I did a video about Team Sky the other day about it, and some people had to leave a comment. It's not Team Sky, it's Team Ineos. And it's like, it's the same boss, it's the same coaches, it's the same key riders, it's the same training goals, it's the same plan, same doctors, same nutritionists, etc. It's Team Sky. I call it Team Sky. That's what it is. So anyway, that's the deal there. The pros, the big name pros in the Tour de France, etc., they refuse to run disc. Big names being Geraint Thomas, Egan Bernal, Chris Froome. It is a disadvantage for a professional cyclist. It is an advantage for some people out there. So you got to determine whether or not it's an advantage for you. If it's an advantage for you, great, go for it. If you're a road racer, if you're like me and you do a lot of road, dry weather stuff, then rim brakes, fantastic for the win. Anyway, leave your experiences down below. If you had a positive experience or negative experience with disc brakes, it seems to be very varied. Some people have a great experience, others not so much. Some people don't even know their brakes are rubbing. Some people don't even know their brakes are rubbing. I mean, how many people out there have ride with loose headsets? And they're like, nah, it's okay, mate. And I'm like, your headset's loose. And they're like, nah, the bike shop said it's alright. So it's just a funny world out there. Some people just don't even know how to... Some people are so poor, they can't even pay attention to what's happening on their bike. They just keep riding along with it. Anyway, spin to win. Look at Heinrich Haus's cadence there. Spinning. That's what it takes to be a good classics rider. Super endurance, super power, ability to eat and drink, and having that cadence all day long. That's the deal there. So look at that. This is big brake clearance as well. So you can just really launch the bike. Through axles didn't improve rubbing at all. Some people say it made it even worse because of the angles. Anyway, that's the video. Comments down below. See you soon.